morning. Welcome po sa press briefing ni Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. We'd just like to make references to a few newsworthy items this morning. Number one is the statement from the U.S. State Department. Last Monday, the United States showed concern about the extrajudicial killings in the Philippines, where officials say more than 400 suspected drug dealers have been killed by the police since President Rodrigo Duterte took over. In reference to this, we'd just like to make a statement that President Rodrigo Duterte has repeatedly expressed that he does not condone extrajudicial killings. However, he has also admitted that certain individuals may have been salvaged. But in the light of this, the NAPOLCOM chair, the DILG Secretary Ismael Sueno, has already directed PNP Chief General De La Rosa to investigate drug-related killings. Also, in reference to this, the militant group Bayan on Sunday insisted that President Duterte should not be blamed for the recent surge in the number of suspected drug personalities killed in police operations, that it may be too premature. Sabi nga niya, masyado sigurong premature na isisi yung mga nagaganap na pagpatay doon sa hindi pa naman nauupong gobyerno during that particular time. Kauupong gobyerno. The other item that we'd like to make reference to is with regards to the referred to the burial of former President Ferdinand Marcos. Based on certain regulations that of those who may be qualified to be interned in libingan ng mga bayani, it does make reference to presidents or commanders-in-chief of the AFP and veterans of the Philippine Revolution of 1896, World War I, World War II, and recognized guerrillas. And at this rate, the president's position is that the whole nation the whole matter should be laid to rest, and that we can move on. In other words, the president has apparently based his position regarding the burial on certain legal basis and certain regulations. Next, we'd like to make reference also to Justice Sereno's statement. In response to Justice Nazareno, President Rodrigo Duterte has referred the matter to the Supreme Court and has asked that the judges make reference to the Supreme Court and that they relate within their own branch. However, in order to just clarify exactly where President Duterte is coming from, he is taking the position of parens patriae, as parent of the nation. He is calling attention to the clear and present danger of drugs, and that it is his moral obligation to make sure that the public is properly warned of the drug menace. It is part of his duty to warn the citizens against those who present a clear and present danger to society. This is not a judicial process, it's simply a calling attention. He is, in a sense, really taking the moral responsibility to be able to warn the people. Lastly, in reference to oligarchs, President Duterte has always made known his position that he is against online gambling, and that it is also his position, it has been his position, to make sure that the economy is more inclusive, and that those who influence government policy and government decisions should be properly dealt with, and that the monopolies are dismantled, and that the economy becomes more inclusive, socially and economically inclusive. Thank you. I'd like to open the floor to questions.
First question will come from JP Bencito, Manila Standard, about extrajudicial killing. Microphone, please. RTVM.
Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Sir, will the palace will have any second look on the spate of extrajudicial killings now that many countries and many organizations have expressed their concern or some kind of opposition to the recent to what is happening now in the country, sir?
As I said, the NAPOLCOM has already been directed, has already made extra efforts, uh, has already made initial steps in investigating these matters.
Thank you, sir.
May follow-up question about extra, other issue? Marlon muna tayo. Marlon Ramos.
Has been a concern regarding President Duterte's intrusion into the matters concerning the judiciary. That this, yung decision niya to name a few judges supposedly involved in the illegal drug trade would result to a constitutional crisis.
As I said earlier, that in a sense, his position as parent of the nation transcends this particular legality that you refer to. That he is actually exercising his position as father to the nation and calling attention to what is an extraordinary situation facing society. So, in other words, it's something equivalent to shouting fire. There is a fire in the house, and it is his moral duty to be able to warn people that there is fire in the house. So, it goes back to that what is usually called the doctrine of parens patriae, that it is his moral duty to be able to warn, not to be able to warn society of what is actually happening presently.
Should the judiciary or even the public consider this as parang pakikialam ng Pangulo or some kind of intervention in the matters of the judiciary?
Siguro kung may sunog, kailangan makialam. Di ba? That is the position he's taking. Now, we are facing an extraordinary danger. And these are, in other words, these are not normal times. These are these are abnormal times, and it calls for a radical action.
And that despite the constitutional provision on the separation of the three branches.
He's
of
not
the government.
interfering with the judicial process. He is simply calling attention to it. He is not actually making this is not the judicial process yet. He's simply calling attention. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Follow-up question regarding Sereno. Philippine Star, Alexis Romero.
Secretary, what do you say to Justice Sereno's statement that judges should not surrender without warrant?
And that's exactly what I believe PRRD has already made reference to that and told them to go to the Supreme Court and clear their names there. He was not actually arresting them. There was no action to arrest them. It was simply for them to be able to clarify their names, simply because also their names have come up. What he is referring to is what intelligence has discovered, and if their names are cleared, then they're cleared.
Okay, what do you say to comments that many of the names there were actually dead already, and many of them are inaccurate? For example, yung isa daw hindi naman congressman. Mukhang hindi malinis yung information.
Ganito po yan, no? And I think Secretary Andanar has made reference to that when he said that actually the lists are a combination of old and new, and that things may but on the whole, they were put together, and these are the lists that have been made reference to, and if they cleared their name, then they're cleared.
Can we still say that the list presented by the president is credible?
I would say so. I would say it's credible. On the other hand, if there are mistakes, then it is the onus now is upon the individual to be able to express and to clarify his actual situation, based again on the fact that he is he is, yung sinasabing doctrine kanina, that he's simply calling a warning that there is such and such a situation facing society.
Follow-up question about Marlon Ramos, please.
Sir, are you saying na now that the government now is trying to promote yung kabaliktaran ng presumption of innocence, instead presumption of guilt among those individuals who were named in that list?
Let me go back to what I said, okay? The situation is that there is a clear and present danger facing the nation, and that intelligence reports are of such magnitude, are of such breadth and depth, that are extraordinary, and that is why he's calling for a public outcry. And this is and the naming is part of the process of the warning that there is such and such a situation, and then he's asking for the cooperation of these people to come up and clear their names.
So why not just file charges against these individuals? Then after filing charges, then the government can already name them in public.
Simply because there is already the length and breadth, is of such magnitude. It needs extraordinary measures. Okay.
Follow-up question. O, other issue na tayo. Raymond Tinas, follow-up. Ted, about Sereno. Okay. Okay. Kay Bombo, kay Raymond Tinasa muna tayo.
Sir, brief quickly lang. Sir, but what the president is doing, naming names before filing charges, is that actually some sort of trial by publicity or justice by publicity, just so they will be named and they will be put to shame?
I doubt if the president is prone to gimmicks. He is not that kind of a person.
Sir, on the Marcos Heroes Burial,
Yes.
sir, with all those directives and I think decision of the president himself to allow the burial of the former president at the libingan ng mga bayani, as we speak, none can change or can stop the burial of Mr. Marcos.
Let's put it this way: the president is aware that there are protests, and that he allows for the protest. He allows people to make their own comments, to make their own political stance, make their own statements, and he accepts that and he recognizes that. However, from his point of view, it is necessary to move on. It is now time to move on.
So it's a go.
The process continues.
Sir, are we confident that there would be no legal problem with that?
From where it is coming from, the process continues now, and everybody and anybody is free to express their protests. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
thank you.
Follow-up question, Hannah Sancho.
Sir, good morning. Sir, some analysts are saying na yung decision ni President Duterte to allow yung family ni Marcos na ilibing na nga sa libingan ng bayani na si former President Marcos is a wrong decision or wrong move. Kung ang motive naman ng Pangulo is for the country to move on, we cannot move on daw, sir, according to yung mga experts, they're saying na unless maging accountable ang family ng Marcos dun sa mga pagkakamali na ginawa nila during nung panahon ni Marcos na naging Pangulo siya ng bansa. Unless magkaroon ng accountability, hindi po daw tayo makakapag-move on.
In which case, those who feel that there is a particular objection, then they should raise it. They're free to raise it.
Follow-up question, Marlon Ramos.
Sir, the late President Marcos is long regarded as a dictator,
Okay.
authoritarian ruler, a tyrant. Does this government believe otherwise?
Believe that what?
That he's not a dictator, that he's not a tyrant during his time?
Well, all I can say is this. According to the regulations that have been referred to, there are at least two reasons for him to be able to be buried accordingly, and that is that he was an ex-president, that is also a veteran, war veteran. So I think there's no reference to whether he was a dictator or not. It simply is that, according to the regulations, he seems to be qualified.
And also the human rights abuses during the martial law, hindi na rin po yun i-consider. It would not matter on the decision of the president to
I think
allow.
those are two different, according to this, there are two different matters. The burial and the supposed accusations and the supposed shortcomings of Mr. Marcos.
Okay, follow-up question. Other issue? Ted Tuvera.
Sir, good morning.
Yes.
Sir, yung sinasabi ni President Duterte parati is if ever na magpaputok ulit yung mga NPA ng landmines, hindi na matutuloy yung peace talks.
According to
And-
him, yes.
yeah. And kahapon din, nag-release ng statement yung CPP na, na ini-encourage pa nga nila yung mga NPA na gumamit ng mga command detonated explosives which are landmines. Sir, ito po ba ay nagpapakita ng threat na mapopostpone or hindi na matutuloy yung peace talks?
Well, let's put it this way. If both parties are aware of the parameters, then they're also aware of the consequences of violating those parameters. So let's let it unfold. Let's see how it goes. Because the PRRD has made a statement that no landmines. And if I'm not particularly aware of the situation, but if the other party says go ahead with landmines, then they are the ones responsible for endangering the process.
Sir, follow-up din po.
Yes.
Related ba rin po sa peace talks? Sir, nagsabi po yung NDF na if ever po, last Saturday, if ever hindi ma-release yung 22 political prisoners nila, hindi raw matutuloy ang peace talks. Ano yung reaction po natin dito, sir?
I'm not aware of the details regarding that, but I know that there have been efforts to make sure that those who need to be in Norway have been allowed or are being allowed to have travel passes, as far as I know.
Pero sir, yung GRP panel, ready na po sila, sir?
As far as I know, they're ready. Yes.
Okay, follow-up question. Alexis Romero, Philippine Star.
Secretary, the President mentioned in Katbalogan that with or without season, the peace talks will proceed.
Yes.
Does it mean there's a possibility that you can proceed with the talks without Joma season?
As far as if that is the statement of the president, in which case he's actually considering that the local CPP, the local representatives will be able to negotiate their own peace. But this is not an official statement. I'm just saying that if that is exactly what he said and that is the context, then the president seems to be confident that the peace talks can proceed.
So pwedeng itchupwera si season.
If I'm not saying that pwedeng, I'm not saying na itchapwera siya. I'm saying that according to that particular statement, that it may be a possibility.
But what made him say that statement?
I'm not entirely sure about the process why.
Chona, you. Microphone, Alexis, please. Thank you.
Sir, tanong ko lang, magkano yung budget sa peace talks? Kasi sinasabi ng Pangulo, pag hindi natuloy, i-realign na lang niya sa mga sundalo yung budget.
I don't have the exact number, but it is sizable.
May follow-up pa sa peace talks? Other issue? Dexter Ganibe.
Secretary, isang
Yes, po.
maulang tanghali. Nagsuspend na nung mga city governments na mga pasok sa mga eskwelahan. May announcement ba ang government sa executive?
Meron ba? Wala ba? As of now, wala. Wala ba?
Sir, previous days, lagi tayong nasa bingit nung kakulangan ng supply ng kuryente sa Luzon. Ano na ang ginagawa ng ating pamahalaan?
I think that the question is should be better referred to DOE, Secretary Cusi.
Pero may direktiba ba from Malacanang na maging priority ito kasi for how many days na laging kulang o hindi masyadong manipis yung reserve?
I'm sure they have a conversation going between PRRD and DOE.
Okay. Marlon Ramos and then Hannah Sancho. Last two questions, sir.
Sir, since July 1, according to some reports sa GMA, they place it at 500. People have been killed. In ABS-CBN since June 30, 800 plus. Sa Inquirer, close to 500 na yung tally namin dun sa kill list namin. Is the President happy that hundreds of Filipinos are being killed because of the drug war?
I think that implies a certain sadistic tendency, doesn't it? No, I don't think he's happy about it. I don't. I hardly think happiness is the right word to use. I think he's very concerned, and in fact, he's bothered and troubled. But referring to happiness, I think he appreciates the fact that there is the people are more and more aware of the situation. If there's anything at all, it is the fact that the people are now aware of the depth and the breadth of the clear and present danger of the drug menace. But no, he is not happy. He is deeply and profoundly concerned.
In previous speeches, the President admitted that there had been extrajudicial killings
Yes.
involved dito sa gera sa laban sa droga. Hindi ba contradictory sa sinasabi niyo ngayon, sir, that he's concerned, that he's not happy with what is happening to our country right
He
now?
is in fact admitting that there are mistakes. Tama? And that's why pinapimbestiga. And I'm sure he is not happy about that.
Thank you.
Hannah Sancho?
Sir, pinapa-clarify lang po, yung mga i-release na political detainees sa puntang na a-attend sa peace talks sa Oslo, Norway, sino po mag-shoulder ng budget po?
I think it's a shared expense.
So
as far as I know,
government
it's a shared
and
expense.
government and
Their counterparts.
okay. Sir, phone in lang po. Kailan po daw may possibility po ba or napangalanan din po ng Pangulo yung mga nasa private sector or celebrities, personalities, big businessmen na may connection or involved po sa droga sa Pilipinas?
Pag meron po intelligence report, I'm sure that there will be announcements made.
Papangalanan din po ng Pangulo.
If there are intelligence reports, validated intelligence reports.
Sir, another phone in. Pinapatanong po ni... Sorry, sir. Pinapatanong po ni Joseph ng GMA, will Marcos be buried as president or as a soldier?
Come again? I didn't hear the question.
Will Marcos be buried as a president or as a soldier?
Well, he qualifies as both.
Raymond Tenasa?
Sir, push ko lang yung follow-up lang sa drug menace dun sa industriya namin. Sir, pero iimbestigahan yung supplier or yung nagbibigay din ng mga droga sa mga artista kasi hindi naman lingid na marami ng mga artista na baliw na rin yung iba, nasira yung career dahil sa illegal na droga. Kasi ever since may mga circulating reports na may mga concerts, may mga nagsusupply na sindikato sa mga artista.
So ano po yung tanong niyo?
But they are also part of the investigation to pursue the one supplying that industry.
Like I said, like I responded to the lady, if there are intelligence reports, then there will be announcements made. Validated intelligence reports. If.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
So last na lang daw si Marlon. May
Go ahead.
question about drugs pa rin. Follow up. Oh, Marcos Burr. Sorry, okay lang ba may?
Sure, one.
So will the former world dictator be buried as a hero? Will he be interred in the libingan as a hero?
He will be buried. Thank you very much.
Ayun, last question. Ay, sorry po. Last na talaga. Last na to si Ted De Vera. Sir, pasensya na. Sige, Ted.
Sir, yung ano po yung reaction natin dun, sir, sa mga sinasabi nila na yung mga pinapatay lang daw yung mga maliliit, mga small time, pero yung mga mayaman hindi naman daw po na papatay.
So maybe you should look at it from a different perspective also, no? There have been some comments, there have been some analysis, and this is simply answering it from a different perspective. that most probably a number of the killings may be occurring on the level of those who supply and those who supply and those who retail. So maybe that is where most of the killings are happening, apparently. Okay. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank
Good morning.
you, Presidential Spokesperson Ernesto Abella. Thank you, Malacanang Press Corps. Back to our main studio sa Radyo ng Bayan at PTV. Thank you, sir.